We're going.
All right, so this is From the Stands. This is a special episode. All right, so we are at the Skagit Speedway, Fred Brownfield 360 and Hornet National. It's kind of our kickoff party, I think. It's been a super great event. Seeing the drivers interact with the young fans coming up, prize giveaways, all that. If you are hearing my voice, you need to get yourself to the track this weekend. Races start Friday and Saturday. You can go to Skagit Speedway's website, show up at the track. It is going to be action-packed racing from top to bottom. So I recommend anybody hearing this and you're looking for something to do on a Friday and Saturday, this is a great opportunity.
Open book. Let's go.
All right, let's go. All right, so that was our intro to this launch party, block party, kickoff party. I'm curious what your thoughts are, what you felt. I personally enjoyed it way more than the Dirt Cup party.
It was a different atmosphere. It was not as populated.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It wasn't as loud. We did not have a band.
Nope.
But we also had way less cars and drivers. I think that's a downside. I would have liked to see more cars and drivers.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, though, I think what Skagit did, they did a great job. I think the go in and eat, get your appetizer, submit your receipt to them, and they'll do a drawing for some pretty killer swag, right?
Yeah, they were good baskets.
Selling the merch. I'm going to tell you right now, the folks that we met at this thing, was next level. This was pretty cool. We have a lot of content that's coming up that's going to be insane. I enjoyed this a lot more. I didn't feel like when we went to the Dirt Cup one, it felt like unless you specifically knew who was who, you had no idea who a driver was, who a crew was. It seemed like high school.
I would agree with that.
Like cafeteria segregation. And I was the typical Toby's watching. Toby watching this. He's on a crew. Went to high school with Toby. We were kind of recluse kind of kids back in high, and that reminded me of, that's why we would drive in his big old green boat to Pizza Hut for the buffet at lunchtime, because cafeteria wasn't our jam, and it kind of felt that way. This was, even though it was restaurant, like, a Peen restaurant was kind of part of it, it felt warmer, it felt better to me.
I did appreciate that all the employees were repping some 360 National shirts. Absolutely.
The Bob's Burgers staff were all wearing this shirt, which was outstanding. So, yeah. All right, so we had lots of stuff kicking off, but we had a great interview with, guess who?
Levi.
Levi Hillier was kind enough to allow me to bug him for 10 or 15 minutes. So this was the interview that I'd been wanting for a bit. I was nervous. Like, I'm a 50-year-old man. He's a 16-year-old young man. I was nervous to talk to him. Because here's the deal. And a lot of people might not know this. I'm a fan of dirt track racing, okay? And if you haven't picked up on that, I don't even know what to say to that question I just imposed on myself. But I want to feel like I can hang and talk and have a driver be engaged, or somebody that I'm talking to be engaged in the questions that I'm asking. And the one thing that you get scared off to do, and it's hard to put yourself out there, is to go, is he going to think this is stupid and a waste of his time? Mm-hmm. Levi was extremely gracious. Extremely gracious. Way more gracious than he probably should have been, to be honest with you. And he is one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie. But let's talk about the race coming up.
Okay.
Have you got a chance to kind of peruse who your favorites might be for the 360s?
Yes, and I know that my list is not complete.
Oh, is it on your computer?
It is on my computer.
Oh. By the way, if anybody is seeing this, and especially this weekend when I'm at the track, Do not fear the book. It seems like every time I open this up and jot a note down, everybody swings around to look. Like I'm either somebody from corporate that's trying to or I'm like a newspaper reporter trying to get an aha moment.
You're like the undercover boss. Do you remember that show?
I'm not important enough to be an undercover or anything,
Okay.
but don't fear the notebook. I'm just writing in here so I can remember. Stacy can verify that is completely the case.
So,
Yeah.
going through some research and pulling from Skagit Speedway's Facebook page when they announced the drivers through the last week and a half, I compiled a list of those names. I don't think that it's 100% complete based off of not having, Colton Heath wasn't on that list.
Yeah, and he's definitely, I think unless he's sick, right, there'd be no way he would be kept out of this kind of race, right?
Yes. Dominic was not on that list.
Yeah.
So, going off of that.
But there was only 26-ish drivers on that list.
Yes.
And what was the news organization?
Sprint Car Unlimited.
Yeah, they were saying that their count was close to 50. So there was definitely cars left off.
Who was the one that I was saying that I saw a post that she was coming? Parker, I think is her first name. From Southern Oregon. I can think of her cards. Her color schemes are very purple. She wasn't on that list either. So I think that we're missing some drivers.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that without all the information, this is what we have to kind of go off of.
Okay.
So
I'm all ears. Can't wait to hear it.
how are we
Just get into it.
talking like who we're going to see in the podium and then some dark horses?
Okay, so do you have a top 5 that you like?
I do have a top 5.
Or do you have a top 10? What is the count of cars you like?
I would say I could give you 5.
Okay, so give me, in no particular order, the 5 cars you like. She's ordering it, and she shouldn't be doing that because I asked her not to.
Okay, I'm mixing my order up. Robbie Price.
Of course.
Okay.
Why is he a favorite?
I think he's just due for...
Nope. Why is he a favorite?
He has a
Nope.
cool color.
Nope. Why is he a favorite? Nope. So I can already tell what you're going to say in the end. Nope.
I think he's due for a win at Skagit.
He is, but that's not
He's
why.
consistent.
But nope. Nope. He is part of that court royalty of the Knights of the Quiet Competence.
Yes, he is.
He is a member of that knighthood.
Okay.
That's why he's due. I
Okay.
want the T-shirt made.
Another one I think will give a lot of people a lot of run for their money is Trey.
Yeah,
He's defending.
if I was a betting man, all my money would be on Trey. He could probably... I would imagine the determination that Trey Starks is going to have for this 360 show. Number one, because the points are counting for this. Mm-hmm. Like in Dirt Cup, 410 points were suspended for that race for our local. But I read, unless the information I read was wrong, and if it is, I can give the source where I read this, but that the points for the 360 season were going to count for this race. So he is in the lead, right?
Yes.
So he is going to have the determination, I think, to probably race the damn thing backwards and still probably beat everybody. That's how determined, I think. When I see Trey on the track, that's what I see, is a man that could drive this damn car in reverse and still beat everybody. Now, obviously, with a sprint car, that's ridiculous because there is no reverse. I know there's going to be lots of people to say that. I'm talking about his determination, the good stuff behind the helmet. Like my hand cramps up making that motion. He's got that. He's got that it factor. Okay.
Okay.
So Robbie, Trey,
Levi.
You know, you'd be fired if Trey wasn't on that list. Like, if you were listed off 5 and he wasn't on there, like,
I don't play favorites. I say that in my classroom all the time. I don't play favorites.
Give me a break. Okay, so Levi. I like that. I like that pick. I got a bold Levi prediction, too, by the way. Bold.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry. I have to make this entertaining, too, so.
How many was that? 3?
3.
Okay. I've seen this name, and I've seen a lot about him. Justin Sanders.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then I think.
You're going to say Sold, aren't you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What about Colton? Heath, Mr. Heath. God, he would have to be a favorite. He always runs strong at his home track.
I think I'm going to go Dominic.
Oh, snap. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. Was not expecting that.
So, if he can qualify well, I think he can run the main well.
I like that assessment, though. That's very professional. How did you lock in those kind of? I mean, you sound more technical than I do.
It was a combination of that article and
a bag of chips, a candy, your cowtail thing.
My cowtail.
That was gross, by the way. I never want to be. I felt like my mouth got violated. Like that wasn't candy. It was weird.
Okay, who is your prediction?
Oh, well, this
for
is
360.
So, if I was a betting man, Trey would be at the top of that list. I don't think anybody can deny that.
He has a racecraft.
What does that mean? I asked you this and you didn't even answer it. What does racecraft mean?
It is.
I have a spacecraft. I don't have a racecraft. What is that?
It is the overarching situational intelligence and skill a driver uses to complete efficiently in a motor race.
So he has chutzpah.
What does that mean?
That means that he has enough motivation and drive behind the wheel to beat people in reverse. That's chutzpah. It's holy crap. I'm getting a headache just trying to explain it. But Trey would be you can't be a fan of this sport and not have him in that category, right?
That would be true.
I like a certain car for a look. I'm going old school.
Okay.
Chris Bullock's car, that was there at.
It was on display at 360.
I wish I had a chance to talk to him. It looks awesome. So he's got my best looking car vote so far. But what did Adam talk about that was impressive? The key to a NASCAR garage to be an effective race car owner, driver, mechanic. What did Adam say? And since you look confused, I won't put you on the spot too much with that. Attention to detail. How much detail did Chris put into his car? What did he do? And you know what I'm talking about. That was impressive, and I hope you got a picture of it.
The tires. He took a paint
He painted the Hoosier on his tires to match the yellow, which if Stacy took a picture of it, it will be inserted appropriately at this point in the episode. I love that. And I didn't get a chance to talk to him, and I wish I did, but from what I understand from his Facebook page, that this 360 show is his last run in that car. So he's on my top 5 list. Robbie, obviously, I don't disagree with you, but I think, and Jason Sowald steps up in big races. I think he's going to be competitive as crap. Mm-hmm. But my sleeper is Levi Hillier right now. I think he's coming off such a huge speed week. His Douglas County race was insanely good.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about it off camera, unfortunately, because I didn't want to take a ton of time up. But and here's my prediction. I think by the start of Saturday, if Levi is in the top 5 starting the day, he will make the podium for the 360 show. That's my prediction. I got a gut feeling. Trey is going to be hard to beat. Mm-hmm. Unless there is something catastrophic that happens to Trey's car. But even then, he's got a legit good crew. Like, it would have to be uber bad for Trey not to be the favorite. I mean, to be honest with you. Like, it would have to just be bizarrely bad. And that's kind of how I feel about it. But that's my bold prediction is Levi. If he's in the top 5 starting Saturday, he will be on the podium. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
So how many was that?
Well, Levi counts as, and Trey counts each as 2.
Okay.
No, but I talked about Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Sowald.
Uh-huh.
He's
Robbie.
Jason's.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Jason's a legit contender, especially when it's big races. He is a Skagit legend. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Yep.
I think it's just going to be competitive from some of our local guys, which is great to see. Give the California boys, give the Midwest boy, is it appropriate to even say boys, men? Give those drivers a run for their money to show that our local Skagit drivers are as competitive and as good as any of the normal Californians, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is a big race. It is the biggest race outside of Knoxville for the 360s.
Yeah, I even wrote it down because I was reading it when we were eating, but so it is a $26,000 to win. Now, for the winner's share, it is the largest, just unadulterated winner's share race in the country. The only one that's competitive to that is the Knoxville 360 Nationals. It's a $20,000 winner's share, but lap money could bump that to $35,000. Somebody could win.
But we found out tonight talking to some people at the kickoff that it's like a 5-day race.
Yes. And that is a turnoff for some drivers because for a share at that kind of money, right?
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of car at risk and cracking stuff up. And they were saying it makes more sense to come to Skagit to do one race for that payout than it is to do, like, for a 2-day race like it is to do a 5-day bumper car at Knoxville.
There's a lot that goes into their race schedule and where they want to go. And we're hoping to get into a little bit of that this weekend in a few different interviews.
We had some eye-opening information that came across us, and if any, you guys know this by now, I get fascinated by some of the weirdest and kind of littlest things, and my journalistic, I got to know about this radar is I'm at this and I'm sitting here trying to interview Levi, which, by the way, I think is my best interview I've done to this point. But my spidey senses are going off all over the place because, man, there's a lot of information that came our way that I cannot wait to deep dive into. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. So when we were sitting watching, I have to make the comment because it's like, what are we doing? This banana ball thing. I guess I want to just...
Oh, when we were having dinner?
Yeah, we were sitting there watching this banana ball thing. What in the holy, like, waffled running shoe is going on? Like, I love the trick shot stuff, but there's dudes with no shirts. Just, when did you banana ball it up with no shirt? Like, isn't that baseball? Like, a jersey? Like, don't you need that?
Speaking of a jersey.
What?
Whose jersey have we been seeing around Speedway?
Rico.
No,
Oh, Rico doesn't have a jersey?
not that I'm aware of.
Does it start with a B and end with a Y?
Yes.
You go ahead. It's funnier when you say it.
The big sexy.
If you could see like how red her face is right now. Yeah, I mean, I think that the two top, I mean, outside of Rico, because every track it seems like Rico is leading. We were at Clay Cup, and I'm just going to say this. I made note of it in my book. We didn't talk about it, but the amount of Rico shirts in the pits at Clay Cup, micro sprint racing, is insanely large. Stacy's wearing a Rico shirt right now.
I am.
But the two most popular merched drivers at Skagit Speedway is Trey Starks. You have a sweatshirt of his.
Yes.
And Adam Haltrop, the number 71, Big Sexy Motorsports. His stuff is everywhere.
And
Rightfully so.
Deming, it was Rico and Tanner.
Rico, a lot of Tanner Holmes stuff, which is great to see. It's but kind of odd to me. Like, of all the high limit guys, right? Like Rico I get because Rico's got that machine behind him, right? The shoprico.com. But Tanner seemed like an odd one to have an abundance of. Unless there's a tie to Deming I'm unaware of, but
I don't think so. I just think that
they just
his
love
social
his
media aspect and presence, just like Rico.
He's a young kid. He knows what he's a young man. He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Macy just commented that we will have to get hooked up with some of their and her boyfriend's merch as well.
Hell yeah. I wear everybody's stuff. That is my, like, I had to change my shirt to, because I want a successful 360 Nationals. I want a successful Hornet Nationals. I put all of my, now I'm being serious here. I know it's been kind of, I put all my podcasting talents into the Clay Cup episodes, even though we got a hit a little bit. Like the minute I said we got no hate started coming, right? But I put my best efforts behind the Clay Cup National stuff. We still good? Okay, because you had a panicked look on your face for a second. But I'm trying to put an equally amount of goodness into this Skagit Speedway stuff that we're got going on, because it means a lot to me to get. I want to tell these guys stories, and not just the Levi's. I want to tell stories, and
not just driver stories.
No, absolutely
We've
not.
focused a lot on drivers lately, just because that's a natural.
Yes, but we will have some interviews coming up that are non-driver, but are as fascinating, maybe even more fascinating. But yeah, so this will be a great show. I think it's going to be action-packed. So,
Okay. What do we have coming up
on this, well, we got the Levi interview. I've been talking about it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't realize I said it in a funny way because you started laughing.
That was just my cue to have you introduce it.
Okay. Yeah, so we've been talking about the Levi interview. We had misconnections during Clay Cup. He wasn't running, but he was getting ready for the Speed Week stuff. He was gracious enough to give me the 10 to 12, 15-ish minutes. It's my favorite interview by far because you get to know who Levi is. You get to talk about the things that I find interesting about a driver, and not his, like, his stats are great, but I want to learn about him. So, but yeah, basically is going to wrap up our
360 kickoff.
the last Fred Brownfield 360 Nationals. So there you go. Here's the Levi interview.
Just kind of get us like.
You're good.
All right. All right. So here we are. We are at. This is the 360 Hornet National Kickoff Party, and I have a special guest with me today. We have. I mean, I feel kind of dumb introducing these because most everybody's going to know who you are when they see you. But we have Levi Hillier, drives the number 26 for this weekend, right? 360.
Yeah.
Normally, you're driving the 26 in the 410 class.
Yeah, we'll switch it up this weekend.
And of course, also Deming. So what do you run at Deming?
Yeah, so I don't run there very much anymore, which sucks because I really like Deming. It's kind of my home track where I grew up and just race all the time. But
Where you got your start?
Exactly where I got my start, kind of grew my footing there, and just I was always a 24L at Deming, and now it's cool to see my sister up there running the 24S and just carrying on that tradition.
She had a
up there.
great clay cup too.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, it was awesome. I feel like
So I'm happy you just lived that.
Get
There you
closer.
go. Yeah,
it was awesome to see. I feel like every single week she just gets more and more consistent. And that main there, she just got the lead on the first lap and just hit her marks every lap and just was able to roll around and click off her first win, which was cool to see.
Yeah, it was great to see. I mean, we got a lot of footage of it. We were going over it in our kind of post-production meeting for Clay Cup, and she had she did a great job.
Yeah.
It was super cool to watch. So, and I know that we kind of missed schedules at Clay Cup because you're busy getting ready for Speed Week, right,
Yeah.
and all the things going on. But one of the things that we don't necessarily get a chance to do is get to know drivers a little bit.
Absolutely.
Talk
yeah.
to them, because we got fences and you got cars and helmets and
Yep.
all the things. So we thought maybe people would want to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the person behind the helmet.
Yeah, for
Are
sure.
you okay with some questions?
Oh, absolutely.
I got my trusty cards here. So first off, I want to ask, like when you think back, being a kid, because your dad is kind of a local legend himself.
Yeah.
I remember watching him when he was getting his start
Yep.
driving. What is your earliest racetrack memory that you might have?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Like I remember, it was my first racetrack memory. I was just watching my dad. 2013 Dirt Cup when he was running for Randy Price, and just watching him from the stands. My mom has pictures of me wearing safety goggles, sitting in the grandstands going into turn one there, and just that was probably my first memory of him racing. And then my first memory of myself racing was just doing novice training in quarter midgets down at WQMA. So just getting my footing, and just I feel like I've always, ever since I was 6 weeks old, just been around racetracks and just went to Deming when I was just a newborn, and then just been at Skagit watching my dad until he took the transition to step back and to help me get this racing thing going and just grow my family.
So I'm curious, when did you start racing at Deming? Like how old were you?
So I started racing at Deming in 2017 when I was 6, but before that I ran quarter midgets at WQMA. I started that in 2014 is when I did novice training, and then 2015 was my first full year running there, and then took a couple years there and got into the junior sprints at Deming, and then just never looked back from there.
Yeah, junior sprints are fun to watch.
Oh, they're
it's
so
like
fun.
Hammer down. It's like all or nothing, right?
I was sitting in the stands this weekend just watching the junior sprint race, and I feel like that was probably the most fun I still have so much fun racing, but that was just, life was simple. You were 7 years old, you didn't care about nothing but going out and racing with your buddies, and you get out and you go get a popsicle and run around, and just, you're having so much fun. And
it's a little different now though, right?
Exactly. Like now it's to the point where, you're racing, it's super expensive cars, you're racing for lots of money like this weekend, and just, I feel like junior sprint was low stress. You're just, you're going out, racing with your buddies, having fun, and you come in and there's no reliabilities or
And that's
stress on
important.
you.
You need to be able to do. I mean, if you're not having fun doing this sport, because it is stressful.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, even from our end, I can't even imagine what you're feeling right now. I mean, especially coming off the week that you've come off of. Like Douglas County was huge.
Yeah, Douglas was awesome, and I have such a great team that I'd give that all back to. Kevin is awesome because he don't put any extra pressure on me. He already knows
That's
how much
great.
pressure
That's
I'm putting
great.
on myself, so he just he knows I'm going to go out there and do everything I can, and he knows my team is going to do the same with Tyler and my dad, Justin and DJ. They work so hard just to give me the best piece, and I'm just the one lucky enough to go out there and be able to drive this thing.
They're doing a good job with it.
Oh, for
now,
sure.
Is there a certain period of time where you knew this is what I want to do? Like, was there a moment? I mean, were you in a, it could have been a junior sprint, quarter midget, that you went, I want to race. Like, this is what I want my job to be. Was there a moment of that, or?
I don't think. I just felt like it was just my lifelong goal from when I started. You know, as soon as I can remember watching my first sprint car race or something, I kind of knew, you know, this is what I want to do. Like my grandpa raced, my dad raced, and now, you know, on to me. It's just kind of been this family thing passed on, and I was just, you know, lucky enough to pick it up. Like, I remember being in 2nd and 3rd grade and writing what I want to do when I grow up, and it was always, you know, World of Outlaws sprint car driver, and just you know, I never had any thoughts about anything else. So just now that we're able to travel and more and just race and be successful, it's pretty surreal.
So are you a routine kind of driver? Like, do you have a routine race day? Do you just go with the flow? I know you're still young enough that most life is probably with the flow, right? I mean, but are you a routine guy, or is it a go with the flow?
I'm pretty routine. Like
What is your routine?
Yeah, like I get to the track, you know, we'll unload, I'll go, you know, look at the track, go draw my pill, do the normal stuff, and then I take my gear really serious. Like my helmet, I'll take that thing all apart every week and clean it.
I've learned that. Drivers are particular about their gear.
Like I'll clean that thing, you know, put fresh tear-offs on, make sure my shield is perfect. You know, you can't really see when you're racing, but just to have the mindset that everything's going to be, all my stuff's perfect going into it. And then,
and knowing that's you doing it.
Exactly. I lay my suit out, get all my gear, take my race shoes out, and I'll blow them completely out, make them clean. You know, I put some speed wax on those things, make sure they're shiny. So just like having my gear clean. I feel like, you know, I help get the car and everything ready to go clean. And as long as I present myself good as a driver, there's nothing that doesn't hold me back going into the race. I know I'm doing everything I can.
That's awesome. Now I'm curious, like, how would you describe your driving style?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like
if you had a novice, somebody who had no idea, and you had to describe how you drove the sprint car, how would you describe that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm fairly methodical. Like I don't put myself in too bad of positions, you know, but there's also that switch in me that, you know, if I get mad enough, or if I gotta go, like I'll stomp on the gas and just you know, get after it. I feel like I have a good balance of just being technical and smooth, and also, you know, bouncing off the wall on the curb and just getting after it. So just I feel like there's a middle ground in there somewhere, and I feel like that's a lot for my dad and my grandpa. My grandpa was always kind of the smooth, methodical one, and my dad was always the stomp and steer who was bouncing off the wall and just making lots of speed everywhere he went.
I wouldn't call him, he was never a reckless driver. He was a controlled, I always called it controlled chaos, but it worked for him.
Yeah, for sure.
He was one of my favorites when I was younger. So I'm curious, racing at Deming, obviously a 360 is not your normal, but 410, how difficult is it to be transitioning from a micro to a 360 to a 410?
That's a really good question, because, you know, now that I've gotten away from the micros long enough, it's so crazy how much, like, you don't take anything from the micro driving wise, like how you drive them, to a sprint car. And I feel like that's why I've had to get away from the micros, is I'd run one night in the micro and then go into the next night and just have these same like tendencies that I try and do, and it take me a little while to get back out of the rhythm. And just you know, I feel like the Deming, you can go into turn one and you can dump the throttle, pitch the thing sideways. In the sprint car, like, if you do that, you got the torque ball bouncing up and down, and you can't do that. So you just gotta be so smooth on the gas with the sprint car. Like, you never want to get all the way out of the throttle. So
I'm always fascinated with it, especially when we see you run at a Friday, right? And then the very next day you're at Skagit in the big car kicking, and I'm like, how much of a I mean, that's got to be hard. I mean,
it's so tough. And like the sprint car, I've always been someone who runs lots of brakes. So like, I always run brake just to keep the thing loaded. And the micro, you don't really have to do that too much. So it's a fine line of balancing, you know, what you do on one night to the next, and just kind of breaking that pattern and getting out of that rhythm.
Do you find it's hard? Like, a lot of people look at you as, I mean, you've kind of created your own, I mean, to be honest with you, and I know this is tough to do, and I hate to do it to you, but people consider yourself creeping towards that elite driver status right now, right? You have a lot going for you.
Yeah.
Is that hard as a teenager to kind of try to, because teenage years are tough anyway, but is that hard to kind of, that pressure? I mean, it's got to be a little bit of pressure, or does it not bother you? I'm curious.
Yeah, no, like, it definitely, you know, there's lots of eyes on me at all times. So just, you know, I always try and carry myself, you know, level-headed, not get hot-headed or anything, and just, you know, try and stay humble with everything. And just, you know, I feel like you have a good night and you're on top of the world, and then you have a bad night and you're in the dumps. But I just feel like my dad's always taught me, and, you know, he's taught me so many different things. But just, you know, every single time I go out onto the track, after you're done on the track, you can't change it. So
And I love that, because I was just going to ask you that. What your dad is,
Yeah.
his kind of legendary status, what has he done to kind of help you
Yeah.
as a race car driver? And I think you just answered that. We're going to do a little fun questions right now, though. So I'm curious, when you're done racing, A-main's done, it's ready to get your helmet off, what is your first go-to snack? Stacy didn't want me to ask this because it's more of a Deming kind of question, but I thought
think
it
it's a good
pretty
one.
legit.
Yeah, man, I don't.
Is there
I
something?
go for a water first thing. Like I'll grab a water, skull that thing down, and then usually I'll just grab like a couple snacks. I like Gushers. Gushers have been a big one recently. But man, usually I'll grab a water, get some hydration back in me, and then grab a couple snacks. Nothing really in particular, just whatever catches
Whatever's
my eye
available
first.
and it looks
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
So what favorite racing movie?
Oh, that's such a tough one. I like Talladega Nights is really good. Like I feel like that's probably a common answer, but that one's really good.
Surprisingly, it's not.
It's not, really.
It is not. So I've asked this a bunch of times. The most common answer is the F1 movie.
That
with
one's
Brad
really
Pitt.
good too.
It's
I like
pretty
that
good.
one. That one's good. Ford vs Ferrari is really good too. I like that one.
That is.
Yeah.
But if I were to ask your dad, I bet he would be Days of Thunder right? Because that's kind of our
That one's got to be pretty common.
So here's something, and I want to ask you this because it's something that you do that I noticed that I was always curious about. And I saw it in particular when you're on the podium at Dirt Cup. And there he is right there.
Dirt Dog's getting in here.
So a lot of times drivers on the podium, they always thanking fans.
Yeah.
And a lot of drivers, really appreciate their fan base. But I kind of noticed, and I was wondering where this comes from, especially your podium at Dirt Cup.
Yeah.
I'm watching your body language. When you started talking about thanking the fans for coming, I saw your body shift.
Mm-hmm.
And your eyes, you started locking in on fans in the stands.
Yeah.
And as a fan who's sitting 100 yards away, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I can really feel he means thanks to the fans for coming. Where does that come from?
I just, being a fan growing up for so long and like watching drivers in that position, either thank the fans or not thank the fans. I know like how it made me feel when drivers really got into it, and just man, I feel like without fans you don't have sprint car racing. Without the fans, they're not able to put on the big money shows. They're not able to do this and that, and just the fans are the thing that grows the sport the most. Without the fan base and all the people coming and supporting us, we're not able to go out there and put on a show. So I just
it means a lot as a fan that you do that, because I really got a sense that you meant, and not that other drivers don't, I can't say that, but I really saw a visceral change. Okay, I'm going to do one and I appreciate you giving us the time for this interview, but I got one last question.
Yep.
If you had somebody who was never seen a sprint car race and they show up at Skagit, at what point of the race would you tell them that they need to focus on watching? Like if you're new, have no idea what's happening, what would be that one part of that race that you would tell them to focus on?
Are you talking like event through the night, or just the like half, or like a
It's
point?
the A main. You're starting third, you're lined up, you're crossed up, green flag's about to drop, you have 30 laps. Where do you tell that new fan who has no idea what's the important part of that race to watch?
I think, as soon as you get past halfway, anyone inside the top 10 has a shot at it. I feel like the first, if it's a 30-lap race, the first 15 are pretty much locked down. You got a big fuel load going on, but then as soon as that fuel load burns off, everyone's cars come to life. And I feel like that's what you see in a lot of sprint car racing is the first, 15 laps are pretty locked down, and then after that you see whose car is really good. So I think if there was a chance to tell a sprint car fan, like, okay, this point in the A main, I'd say just past halfway, then everyone's it's a free-for-all. Whoever's got the best car is gonna get to the front.
I love that. So anyway, I kind of figured that's what your answer would be, just kind of knowing how you are. But I appreciate you. I'm going to shake your hand. I appreciate you taking time with us. I know you have a lot going on. Good luck. We're going to be rooting for you.
Appreciate it.
Levi Hillier, 360
Thanks so much for
Nationals.
watching our latest creation from the stands, P&W. So you're probably wondering who's responsible for creating this podcast. Well, that would be Jimmy and Stacy. Who is the guy in front of the microphone all the time? Well, that would be Jimmy. Who's producing our episodes? Well, that will be Jimmy and Stacy. Who am I talking to on the social media side, and who's creating all that wonderful social media? Well, that would be Stacy. A special thanks goes out to Top Shelf Galaxy Productions, and of course, a special shout out to Ice by Stacy Media for all the great graphics and animations. So please like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when our latest hits the airwaves. You can find us across all social media platforms at From the Stands P&W. Once again, thank you so much for watching.